Disney's Snow White remake is getting pushed to 2025, and Rachel Zegler's comments about rewriting the classic story are stirring backlash. Meanwhile, the Daily Wire's rival movie starring Brett Cooper sticks to the traditional fairy tale, fueling debates over Disney's woke changes and their cultural impact.
What are the children
It's been over 87 years since Walt Disney first shared his animated classic, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You'd think after all this time, there wouldn't be much left to say. But here we are. The story as old as time is back and in the spotlight, and stirring up quite the conversation. Disney's latest move? A new live-action Snow White that's got everyone talking. Some fans are excited to see their childhood favorites like Belle, Simba, and now Snow White come to life in a whole new way. But not everyone's on board. Things got really heated with the casting of Rachel Zegler as Snow White. It was a bold move that split the crowd. Then Disney threw another curveball by saying goodbye to the beloved dwarves we all remember, replacing them with magical creatures. This change sparked a whole lot of chatter, and not the good kind. And just when I thought that was it, there's a twist. Looks like the dwarves might be sneaking back into the story. But even that's got fans scratching their heads, not quite sure what to make of their new look and the changes to the story we all thought we knew. Now, with fans not exactly thrilled, it opens the door for a competing movie to step in and maybe even steal the show. It's a classic Disney move turned modern-day drama, and we're all here watching to see what happens next. And now Rachel Zegler's words are stirring the pot again.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White.
She made headlines when she said, "It's not 1937 anymore," during an interview. Her take? The new Snow White isn't just about hunting for true love like the old days. This twist in the tale isn't sitting well with everyone. Fans are up in arms about Rachel and the filmmaker Mark Webb's departure from traditional love and friendship themes. The criticism is intensifying, especially since Rachel's remarks made the prince sound more like a stalker than a hero. This new perspective on an old subject is undoubtedly provoking debates everywhere we turn. Rachel's statements, together with Disney's major modifications to the iconic Snow White, have caused quite a commotion. Fans have termed the movie woke since it deviates so much from the original story, and many of them are unhappy about it. In fact, the response is so fierce that some fans have threatened to boycott the film. This could explain why Disney decided to delay the release date from 2024 to 2025. They're trying to buy some time to cope with all the criticism. But here's the twist. Disney isn't the only studio working on a Snow White film. The Daily Wire, a conservative news outlet, has announced their own version, which will be released in 2024, beating Disney to the punch. Their film, Snow White and the Evil Queen, will be released on Bentkey, a kid-friendly streaming service.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Jeremy Boring, co-CEO of the Daily Wire, was blunt in his words when he mentioned how Snow White was the backbone of Disney's success, but now, in his opinion, Disney is disappointing its loyal fans with all these changes. The Daily Wire's adaptation will remain faithful to the original Brothers Grimm fairy tale, which has struck a chord with fans who feel let down by Disney's approach. What makes the Daily Wire's movie so appealing is its focus on the values that made Snow White a timeless classic: friendship, magic, inner beauty, and romance. They believe these themes are still just as important today, even though Rachel Zegler has said they're outdated. And with Brett Cooper stepping in as the new Snow White, fans are excited. Her commitment to staying true to the original story has won over people who are unhappy with the direction Disney is taking. Fans are eagerly embracing her and the Daily Wire's take on the tale, and it looks like the Battle of the Snow Whites is just getting started. But here's where things get even more interesting. Brett Cooper, who's stepping into the role of Snow White for the Daily Wire, isn't just an actress. She's already super well known as a YouTube personality with over 4.3 million subscribers on her channel, The Comment Section with Brett Cooper.
It's so cool! I'm literally the one in that trailer, and I'm still like so excited.
Brett's not just reading scripts, she's got a huge following where she talks about everything from politics to pop culture. And she's a big part of the Daily Wire family, which includes big names like Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. While Brett started out as an extra in the Hollywood film Parental Guidance, she took a completely different path, making her mark on YouTube and even appearing in movies like Bobby and Gil and 500 Fireflies.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, kiddo. You alright?
Could be better.
Plus, from the teaser for Snow White and the Evil Queen, it's clear she can really sing, which is something fans are excited about. With Brett leading the way and the Daily Wire promising to stick to the classic version of the tale, their Snow White adaptation is shaping up to be exactly what fans of the original story are craving. It's a huge contrast to Disney's modern take, and people are already choosing sides. Now, let's talk about one of the key details fans have noticed: Snow White's hair. In the Disney cartoon, Snow White rocked a short bob, but in the new movie from the Daily Wire, she's got long hair. Brett Cooper pointed out that in the original Grimm fairy tale, every illustration shows Snow White with long hair, which is historically accurate for the time period. The Daily Wire made it a point to stick to these small details to stay true to the original story. It's important to remember Disney might own the animated movie, but they don't own the original Snow White story. This new movie is based on the Brothers Grimm fairy tale, not Disney's version.
"How big is this forest?" Snow White said. "I've walked for hours."
What really catches people's attention, however, is the heart of this adaptation. Brett made it clear that the new Snow White is not about promoting political views. It's about honoring the ageless ideals that have made this fairy tale beloved by people of all ages. Fans are eager to see a film that keeps true to the old plot without trying to modify everything to fit modern tastes. This is especially important when looking at Disney's past. The original Snow White carried a significant risk at the time. The Daily Wire's co-founder Jeremy Boring even talked about how disrespectful it is for Disney to rewrite the story that basically built the foundation for the studio. Fans are really resonating with this idea, and they're eager to see a version of Snow White that respects the past while bringing the magic back for a new generation. Brett Cooper isn't just playing Snow White, she's stepping in to defend everything we love about the original fairy tale. Unlike the modern version that Rachel Zegler was promoting, where Snow White ditches Prince Charming and skips out on the romance, Cooper's version stays true to the classic story.
She's not going to be safe with the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
You know, the one where Snow White really needs the prince and doesn't mind a little help when things go difficult. Cooper's point of view is a breath of fresh air in a Hollywood that's been attempting to fix what isn't wrong. She isn't interested in changing the story or making Snow White into a warrior princess who doesn't need anyone. Instead, Cooper embraces everything that made the original special: romance, adventure, and magic. This is not a political message. It's about delivering a timeless story that has captivated audiences for years. And guess what? Fans love it. People who have felt excluded by Hollywood's recent developments have gathered around Cooper's interpretation. They're tired of seeing their favorite stories transformed into something they don't recognize. Cooper's support for the classic Snow White is about more than nostalgia. It's about preserving principles and stories that have endured for decades. A larger debate is currently taking place in Hollywood. On one side, Disney is attempting to update Snow White with its new interpretation, while the Daily Wire is presenting a version that keeps to the original narrative. Fans are taking sides, and it's evident that many want to see a version that honors the fairy tale they grew up with. Now, I want to hear from you. Which version are you leaning towards? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to see which side you're on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.